Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Lori Winder, and I am the secretary for Edmonton Pride Seniors Group Board, and I will chair your meeting today. Before we start, I would just like to do a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the land we're gathering on today is Treaty 6 territory and homeland to the Métis and traditional gathering place of many Indigenous people. We honor and respect the land, history, languages, ceremonies, and cultures of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who call this territory home. So thank you for that. And I just want to offer welcome from the board, Edmonton Pride Seniors Group Board, which consists of Michael, Stephen Cran, Nicholas Rubatten, Jackie Ford, Lori Winder, Jan Smith, and Joan Whitecalf. And I think everybody's here. I don't see Stephen, but I think we're here. So welcome. And I think we're going to start out today. Michael's going to give a little update, a little report on the Edmonton Pride Seniors Group. So.
Yeah, and yes, just very quickly, that as many of you know, we continue to be busy. Beginning in January, we acquired the land from the city, which is worth about, I think, 2.5 million. And with that acquisition, with our partners right at Home Housing, and Marisa's on her way here, will be here fairly soon. She said she was late. Have moved forward, and we received, many of you know, a provincial grant about a month ago, 5 weeks ago, I guess it was, maybe 6, I can't remember, for 8.6 million, which was a nice chunk to get. I would say that. And with that, and a couple other things, it meant that we've been able to hire Jonathan Rockliff is up here in the first chair, who's the architect. And that he will be working on the project all the way through, the kind of thing that as well. And he's going to do some more for us this afternoon. But it does mean that there's been a lot of work done on that. Marisa will indicate a bit more about the next steps, but there's a great deal happening in terms of now looking at who's going to do the construction, what companies are going to be involved, and the additional money that we need. The estimate is still about 27 million. You know, right about that, might be 26.8 million, 27 million roughly. And so with the money that we got from the province, and then of course we got our first money that we got was from the Court of Wild Rose, the drag queens, and that's through at the black at the end kind of thing that who organized and got that for us, 55,000. We got Fruit Loops. Fruit Loops provided $2,000 that they also provided to us as well. I don't think there's someone here from Fruit Loops today, so that was they may be online. And then we got $25,000 from the National United Church Foundation that they have provided. So we have, and then we got the city, grant, not grant, but the property's worth 2.5 million. So we've got the province supporting, we've got the city supporting, and then we've got the drag queens, and we got the sports groups under that as well, and the churches. What more could you want? We got everybody, all the groups we could want. That hopefully will take us to receiving all the funds. Certainly, there's a lot of work being done through right at Home Housing as well, in terms of money from other levels of the government, and particularly the feds. Eventually, also we'll get probably more from the city, and we maybe get more from the province, and she can speak to that a little bit more than I at this point in time. We have the board you've met. The two people who aren't here, one of them is on holidays out of the country. The other, Nicholas, had some major dental work done, is in pain under that. And maybe you've had dental, you know what that means, and it was extensive work, and so he's he's recovering kind of thing that as well. So that's the board, plus the ones that are here. Our membership continues to grow. On the Joan, wave your hand up there. I think that Joan is working on membership along with Guy is there as well, and with Nicholas, and that we're trying to refine that a bit, and put something together for our annual general meeting about membership and who's members and what they do and all that kind of thing. And that, so as such, the organization continues to grow as well. And I appreciate all of people who are here today. And you'll hear some more about some of the other items that are going on. And it's a pleasure that so many of you could be here and online. I think we have, what, 5, 10, 15, we have about 17, maybe, or 18 people online, so great. And that real pleased with the turnout then as well. Because I think you'll all hear quite a bit of the information about where we're at. Primarily with the following people will do that. So that's, I think, my report. And Madam Chair, if later somebody wants to ask questions at the end, they come talk to me.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear the presentations this afternoon. We've sort of been delving around it, so now it's nice to bring it all together into one space. So first, we would like to hear from Jonathan Rockliff. And if you can, I hear you have a presentation. And if you can introduce yourself.
So, I'm gonna interject one more time. I'd love to hear you speak.
Okay, yes, I'm just doing the in-betweenies.
That's perfect.
I thought, would it be better for me to be close to the microphone? Or the people
Anywhere
online?
is probably good.
Sorry, I'm just going to film this for documentary.
Which one do you want? Just
One
starts.
Let me know.
I apologize. I did forget. This gentleman here, Chris, is filming for a documentary about this project, and my mistake. So if you would prefer not to be filmed, please let us, and we will be fuzzy faced or deleted out of the
Yes.
project. So just let him know at the end.
Ugly like.
Oh.
Thank you guys so much. Please let me know if you all want to go there.
And that includes folks on screen as well.
Yes. Thank you.
This is.
Jonathan, do you want to be on the camera where the people on the screen see you? It's that bar at the top.
Wherever you think it's best, I guess. How's this as a place?
I think they can see you.
I'll try to speak to the group and to the camera a little bit, but
Sorry, Jonathan, it's taking a
no,
while.
take your time.
There we are.
No, I guess while Eric's getting that set up, yeah, we're really excited about, I feel like we've made a ton of progress since we last met, in terms of the design. I guess one of the hiccups along the way has been the information we had a long time ago around the size of the site, and what it actually was quite different. So we had to kind of scramble from what was developed a year and a half ago to what you're seeing today. So the site has kind of gotten smaller, and that's made us have to kind of compress the footprint of the building and push it up a little bit higher than it was before. But yeah, I think it's really coming together quite well. And so I guess as I'm doing this presentation, happy to, if people have questions as I'm going, they can put their hand up and go ahead and ask it. You don't have to wait till the end, I don't think, if that's okay with everybody. But yeah, I guess, and as a bit of information, the design has progressed quite into quite a bit of detail. Our intent is by the end of this week that we will be submitting it to the city of Edmonton for a development permit application, which is quite a important milestone, and I think an exciting one as well, and kind of tied to maybe something, I don't know if Marisa's talking about, but some more grant monies that we're pursuing. So that's kind of why we've progressed the design fairly quickly to get to this point, so we can go after some more grant funding. So I guess if you could go to the next slide.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This is gonna take a while.
Do you mind if I help make it full screen so people can see it a bit better? Okay,
Sorry. You know what? I'm gonna have to leave at 5,
okay,
so
okay.
if you complete control.
Right. And maybe I'll introduce Tegan from our office. Yeah. For those that don't know me, Jonathan Rockliff, I'm with Dialogue. I'm a registered architect, and I've got Tegan, designer today. She's been heavily involved in producing a lot of the design work, and I've got Ty here as well, who's a partner in charge for the project. So yeah. Think between the three of us, we can answer probably any questions you might have. So what we're looking at first is the current site plan, which has the footprint of the building. As people know, we've got roads on 3 sides. It's kind of a unique site that way. Yeah, we did find out recently that we fall within the corridors area, which has some additional landscaping requirements that we're kind of stick handling right now with the city. But you know, the idea is, I think we have probably do we have a colored landscape plan coming up?
We don't have a colored plan, but we have some images of the planting scheme.
Okay, so I mean, quickly, you know, in terms of the site plan, the building is kind of this L shape. We've got the main entrance facing 101A Avenue. We've got, you know, limited parking, but some parking to the north. And I think everybody knows, and we'll see it later in the design, the site is quite sloped. So as you go from the north to the south, how many meters
About
difference?
2 meters, I think, a little.
Yeah, so you know, that's 7 feet or so from front to back. So yeah, I guess let's go to the next slide. So this is our landscape design, and I guess we've kind of taken some obvious inspiration in terms of some of the colors for the planting that we're thinking about using. I don't know it's probably hard to see in the drawing where it will
exactly
all
they
go.
are. Yeah.
But yeah, the idea that I guess we currently have with not just the landscaping, but the exterior expression of the building is that we would draw on some of these colors, maybe not overtly, but within the building to some extent. That's still kind of to be determined, but yeah, thought this was a really interesting approach from our landscape architect. I guess you can go to the next. Oh, do we have it? We don't have a landscape design. Okay.
The trees are just kind of shown on the landscape plan, so it's a little bit tricky, but there's a fair amount of trees essentially surrounding the entire building with some smaller shrubs, and then I think the flowers primarily are in these sort of like garden bed spaces towards the front.
But I guess and I'll point, and maybe you can hover your finger for the people online, but yeah, we've got the main entrance into the building, a bit of a, you know, call it an entrance plaza with we thought we'd get some seating in there and some planting. We've got some bicycle parking, which is a requirement by the city adjacent to the front entrance. And kind of as you come around the building, you know, it's hard to see, but there's bigger trees and bushes and you know, some landscape buffer kind of between the streets and the building of different kind of shapes and sizes. We've got a fire exit here along 95th Street, and then it's hard to see, and it'll come out probably in a drawing later, but there's a outdoor amenity area just to the south in the lower level to the southeast of the property. So yeah, let's go to
Will the development permit dictate the landscaping?
the zoning dictates the landscaping, so there's a requirement for trees and number of trees.
They won't say exactly what needs to be planted.
They
Nope.
just,
So
what's that?
I don't believe they indicate like the species, but they might say like this many coniferous trees or deciduous trees.
And our landscape plan that will be submitted to the city as part of the development permit will be our opportunity to propose how many of what, will be planted where, and then that becomes like what we get the permit on, so they'll come back and look for it. I know, we do it all the time, so.
Is the bicycle compound secure?
Is the,
The bicycle, the compound where you're parking bicycles, is that outdoors? Is it fenced in? Is it?
no, it's not, but we also have interior bike parking that would be secured.
It's kind of like free gas.
Yeah, that would be the intent of this one.
Exactly, yeah.
They're not gonna last 10 minutes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is a requirement for the city. They want us to have short term and then long term. So the majority of the bicycle parking is within the building and will be secure, but.
Yeah, and it's a good point. There is quite a requirement for the zoning requires quite a few bike parking stalls. For the building, it's I think probably more, well, the parking requirements are very minimal, but the bike parking is not.
Yeah, you need one per unit, so it's a lot of bike.
Even for seniors?
Yeah, they don't stipulate. Yeah.
We won't record this, but often we provide the bike parking inside, and then it just becomes storage areas or something like that.
Is there room for walkers and scooters?
That's the
Yeah.
idea.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the building footprint and the site plan, and we talked about the landscaping, so yeah. Here is we're calling it the lower level, not the basement, because of the slope of the site, we have, a walkout basement. And for the most part, everything's kind of underground, except for kind of the area where we've got we're calling it the common amenity area, but it's essentially a big kind of multi-purpose room that has a kitchenette, it's got some bathrooms, it's got some storage, and then there's a sizable exterior space that is directly accessible from that. So yeah, it faces south, so lots of sun. Yeah, we're aware that it's going to be adjacent to a busy road, so we've thought about, kind of fencing for security, but also privacy. Yeah.
Is your bike parking?
And yes, so this space up here is dedicated to bike parking. So you can see all the little kind of stalls that are required for smaller bikes and bigger bikes. And so this is in order to meet the zoning requirements. Yeah, I guess common on each floor is 2 elevators and a bit of a lobby space, and you'll see more about how that works, I think, as you get above the main floor. We've got a large storage area over here, some mechanical and electrical spaces sort of in the middle, and a couple of exit stairs.
Is there a barbecue in the outdoor amenity? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, we've shown a couple of barbecues, so yeah, we could pipe in some natural gas to hook those up to. But the idea is that that outdoor amenity space would be mostly just an open kind of patio, and that furniture or raised planters or planters, pots or whatever can be just placed there and sort of enhance that space.
What we would have done. You see mailboxes in here? Mailboxes?
Oh, yeah.
Interior mailboxes?
Yeah.
We'll have a look at
working on
this,
that.
on the next level.
And then, sorry, just to interrupt, we've elected to put power in where the bike storage is. Because we know in seniors buildings, and especially so close to downtown, we might have a lot of folks who actually want scooters. And so then you can use that as scooter parking space. Or, maybe you have a walker or a wheelchair, but you don't use it all of the time and you don't want to keep it in your apartment. You might only need it if you're traveling or had surgery or that kind of. So we've kind of flexed the tenant storage space and the bike storage space so that we can be thoughtful of the fact that there might be other desired uses outside of just dumping stuff there, but that we might specify some different use.
And you'd access that through an elevator?
I mean, you can take the stairs if you really want to, but I'm not.
Why?
Stairs being done soon.
Any questions about the lower level?
Is there any, well, it might be on other levels, but is there any kind of, I'm gonna say medical area? No, okay.
Are you thinking like a clinic space kind of?
Yeah, like if there was walk-in or some kind of podiatry was gonna come into the building to help the seniors with that, or if they wanted to get shots, would they have a spot that they could go and have that facilitated within the building?
So we have not designated any spots that are really that specific. What we've done is we've designed like those shared spaces to be just really flexible, right?
Whatever.
Right? Like even the outdoor space, I said, well, we don't want to put concrete planters. After talking with Michael, we'd rather put like pots that can be moved or shuffled around so that as maybe the event changes, right? And you're doing something that's a bit more, then those spaces can shift with that. So even like a big community common space, being cognizant of privacy, you can still, if you want to bring in a nurse to do vaccinations, it's a multi-purpose space. There's tables, there's chairs, you can move things around, you can, right? So a lot of those spaces were sort of designed with, we don't want to predetermine what's going to go in them. We want you guys to determine what's going to go in them. So we're trying to just really make them fairly generic outside of things like requiring washrooms and being accessible, that space that can be pretty flexible when you get there.
Perfect.
Hopefully that helps.
All right, next level. So this is, did someone online have a question?
Yeah. How does one see the slides? I'm not seeing them at all.
Oh, it's,
Anyone else online?
Yeah, we can see them. They're on the screen. So if
Yeah,
you've
they're on
got,
the
if you go to speaker view, you'll be able to see it and then go to full screen.
Okay, and where is that?
It looks like a little stack of 9 squares.
Oh,
Speaker view, are you seeing all of us right now?
I'm seeing the whole room.
Okay.
At least I was.
Okay. You should,
But-
so they shared this screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, well, maybe I'll keep going while you're figuring out your tech, if that's okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know if we want to share these drawings after the meeting, and I mean, we're okay with that, but I guess
Yeah, I think we're fine with sharing some generic ones as long as everyone understands that we still haven't made it through development permit and building permit. So there may be changes that come as they identify issues. They're your guys' kind of drawings, but yeah, just as long as we understand, we may have to make some tweaks and changes along the way.
Yeah.
But it'll give you the general idea of what we're aiming for.
so yeah, here we've got the main floor, and so we've got the main entrance coming in from the north. There's a nice size canopy over the front entrance just for shelter, and you know, it's really just you know, we've pretty much used every square possible inch of the space available to, you know, create suites and yeah, mostly suites, but maybe just you can hover your mouse. We've got one of the requirements from the city was a garbage room, not exterior garbage. So in the northeast part of the building, we've got a garbage room. So on garbage day, the truck will pull up, they'll open the door, pull the bins out, empty them, put them back in. And I think Right at Home is actually happy about that, just from a safety, security, maintenance, yeah. point of view as well.
Yeah, so in this perspective, then, if anyone living in the building is taking their garbage out, you don't have to go outside. You just walk down the hallway, straight into the garbage room, it's safer, it's cleaner. You don't have to worry about slipping on snow or ice in winter. And then across the city, we have issues around illegal dumping and messes and dumpster diving, so this just creates a cleaner environment. It means that everybody needs to make sure their garbage isn't dripping when they walk it down the hallway, but it just creates, we find, safer and cleaner. I'm Marisa, by the way, the executive director of Right at Home Housing. I just showed up late, started talking, I introduced myself, sorry folks.
Yeah, so you know, I guess at the center of the building, we have the elevators, and not so much on the main floor, but on the upper floors, we've created kind of a common area for soft seating, and it you know, we kind of see that as opportunities on each floor to for people to interact informally, hang out, you know, spend time outside of their suite, whatever that might be. But yeah.
So the mail room is someplace on this floor, on this first floor.
We are still trying, there won't be a mail room per se, there will be mailboxes.
Right, but it's someplace here.
Someplace inside the building where we're still trying to figure
Figuring
that out.
that out.
Our original intention was actually to put it outside with one of those super boxes because we find they're much more secure and have fewer break-ins. However, we can't do that, so now we're just shifting directions.
I understand.
But it'll be somewhere in that main lobby in some form.
But you can see, you know, this floor plan and all the floor plans are pretty jam-packed with the suites, and the drawing package has individual drawings of each suite. Yeah, I don't know if we need to get into those today, but they might be interesting for people to receive as part of the drawing package. Yeah, do you want to go up a level, Tegan?
Yes.
So this would be our typical upper floor plan. Yeah, I think each floor above this is identical, right?
There's
Not quite.
some slight adjustments just where the bump outs
Okay,
occur, but in terms of the interior circulation and sitting area, they're the same.
Yeah, so
And how many floors is that?
There are 5 floors and a basement, lower level,
How many suites?
64.
Can you just tell us basically what the size of the suites will be?
So it varies, but we do have that on some upcoming slides, and we have a square footage of each suite type.
but I guess, yeah, the idea is on the upper floors, we have, you know, elevators are gonna be a place where kind of people come and go in and out of the building. The that lounge area, I think, it has a nice adjacency to that space, so, you know, I think it'll be interesting, active space. There'll be windows to bring in natural light, not just to the lounge area, but into the kind of core of the building where the elevators are. And yeah, as Tegan mentioned, so when we look at the exterior of the building, you'll see we've kind of extended out portions of the building, and I guess that does a couple of things. It provides a bit more space on the for the suites, and in some cases we needed that extra space, but it also helps to create some visual interest on the exterior of the building as well.
So they have balconies?
No balconies, no. So yeah, I guess we can probably go to the exterior.
So Jonathan, the size, the different units,
How big are they?
Upcoming slide.
the 1 bedroom and the 2 bedroom, is that?
We'll hit that,
Okay.
yeah.
Can I just, sorry, on the topics of balconies? So one of the things that we considered in this design was larger lobby areas and then the community space. So encouraging people to kind of get out of their suites where we've got those sitting spaces. Balconies often, especially if anybody's watched the weather lately, it can be not a fantastic space to use. Summer now we have all this rain, winter it snows, it's cold. So creating these spaces, whether it be on every floor or the main one in the basement, is like, it's usable 365 days a year. It doesn't matter what the weather is. Come out, chat with your friends, maybe folks you guys wanna start an indoor gardening project and every floor has plants. So we really thought about the idea of what does that look like, and worked on being thoughtful about making sure that there's windows there so that you're still like seeing outside, even though you're maybe not sitting outside.
Perfect.
So we did consider that, but we thought this might be a bit more functional than some tiny little individual patios.
And then I think also being able to sort of invest then into that outdoor common area where maybe maybe the group does choose they want to have some raised beds for planting. Maybe you can have some more shared activities in a an outdoor barbecue and sort of have that as an amenity where you might cross paths with your neighbors instead of every single person having their own tiny barbecue on a balcony or something. So so I think that area will be really nice too, and sort of south facing and in the sun.
In my apartment, I sit on my balcony and I look directly at the west wall of Kiwanis Place.
Oh,
And there's nobody on their balconies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not often well used.
Yeah.
Can there be some choices, like can there be a few balconies, like someone might wanna have some planting, a garden on their balconies, they might wanna be growing some things, they might wanna have their own private entertainment space instead of being with a big collective.
I'm gonna be honest, based on the size and the layout of this site and how far we had to do setbacks, if we start putting balconies on the building, we're gonna have to cut out floor space. Which I think is probably not preferred. So that's where we kind of tried to be thoughtful about shared spaces in the building, that maybe there's a deck at the ground floor, that if we've got a couple of folks who love gardening, that becomes a project for the main floor, or I should say the lower floor, not the main floor. And then these indoor spaces and whatnot, but
Even the higher floors, can't you have this overhang that doesn't affect your floor space?
I do not believe we can overhang past sidewalk space regardless of whether it's upper or not. And we also have power lines around the site, and we've had to be cognizant of that as well. So there's about 1,500 rules that impacted us people because there's 3 roads around the building. So it hasn't been like, even rules around the alley space has been really impacted what we're allowed to do to expand out.
The power lines are at a certain height, not every floor is gonna be affected. Like a balcony there.
Yeah, but you can't like have a balcony that hangs out under a power line or over a power line either. It's like a wall where that power line goes. You need to be able to access it to do repairs and power, like it was a lot when we hit this 3-sided property. We've even had issues around where so there's the 3 roads and then where the drive line is and how much space we need to be back from an imaginary alley. Imaginary, it doesn't exist currently, don't drive by and look for it. Right, so there's a lot of those rules that come around, by law. Rules.
We did put a lot of thought into it, and the decision was to not have balconies.
It was not an easy decision.
Maybe there'll be rooftops upstairs.
So back to the rooms.
Okay.
How big they are.
We're
That's where I'm gonna live.
Can we look at the exterior, or where do we have them in the presentation?
We have suites next.
Okay, let's do the suites. Let's do it.
It's your house.
There's quite a
Those
few,
downsides,
If
if
you've
you've already
been
told
stuff,
you.
there's quite a few variations. This first suite type is 39 meters squared, so it's quite small, tight.
So, yeah, I guess for those that might be challenged between meter squared and squared, if you add a 0 on the end, you get pretty close. Like, so this would be about 400 square feet for this suite. So yeah, that is one of the smaller 1-bedrooms. This one's a little bit bigger because it's got that kind of bumping out on the exterior to add a little bit more space to the living area. So yeah, because we're getting money from the government, there's a requirement in the building code to provide adaptable dwelling units. kind of like barrier-free suites, but not, they don't have to be built barrier-free, but they have to have that ability to become barrier-free if needed, so we do have 7 of them in the building. So this would be an example of one of them, and it shows those dotted circles, which are the turning radius of a wheelchair, just I guess for reference and for size, and I think that is 1,700 millimeters, which is, what's the conversion on that,
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Just over,
6 feet, no, just under 6 feet.
just under 6 feet, yeah, it gets bigger every year, the
Yeah.
radius you have to provide, so.
It used to be
Yeah.
5 feet, now it's.
Yeah.
There is laundry facilities in every suite.
Yes. Yeah, we've got stacked washer dryers in all the suites except for these ones, where we show side by side washer dryers.
And this one is sort of just over 500 square feet, so you'll see them a little larger in the barrier-free ones, just because you need the larger bathroom and the turning radius.
Is the counter accessible as well? It's a lower counter.
It is not, but I guess because it's adaptable, I guess to make it adaptable, you might have to rip out the millwork and put in, millwork, but, yeah, it's funny, we've done a lot of projects and, yeah, I think, I don't know what Marisa's experience is necessarily, but it seems like the units that are built to be purely barrier-free are sometimes harder to rent is what I've heard. I don't know if Marisa has that same experience or not.
Yeah, so where we kind of go back and forth on these pieces is that if we build the entirety of the unit to be best suited for someone who is full-time in a wheelchair, so can't stand, can't reach, we don't see a lot of folks that sort of fit into that category. What we see mostly are people who are maybe using a walker, or they use their wheelchair some of the time, but not all of the time. But what happens when you start to build it fully accessible is that you lose a ton of covered space. So you don't have any under your stove, you don't have any under any of your sinks. What we find is it's easier to do the kind of barrier-free design, but then if we get to a place where somebody really honestly is in a full-time wheelchair and that doesn't work for them, then to adapt that space in that time. Is what right? And so when we start to talk about those universal components, lots of people want to be prepared that maybe they would have full mobility needs down the road, but currently they don't. Maybe it's partial mobility needs. So a little of that is about us working with people in space and time too, right? You've lived there. Now you do need something, or we make a few changes along the road. We have experimented in some of our housing with countertops that raise and lower, and we find that they're just always broken and people would rather not have them.
Yeah.
Right? It's 10 o'clock at night, you want to lower your counter and now you're like, oh, broken. I wish it was just low.
So, yeah, I guess we can move through the other ones. So this is essentially the same, but without out, I think, or
Doesn't have this is where we're kind of, we've slotted space for the mail room on the main
okay.
floor, so that's why it's a bit small.
Is there some place to hang a coat?
This suite in particular is quite cozy. Our thought was we could shift the door a little bit and provide some hooks behind the door. Yeah, to provide space for that. Most of the suites do have closets in the front entry to address that, but we were quite constrained.
Is this one that has a laundry closet with stacking laundry, and then this next to that?
This one has, so this would be the part of the kitchen, like
Oh,
oven, and then the laundry's in the washroom.
okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I
so
was
just the
confused.
closet and
Yeah.
this would probably become a pantry space, this unit, but.
Yeah, so there's spots on 2 sides of the door if you wanted to put like a couple shoes or some coat hooks or that kind of thing.
Okay.
this will be the suite probably everybody will want. This is,
Corner.
the corner with lots of windows. Yeah, a bit of a odd shape, but I can't remember, is this all the same all the way up or?
So this one, there's some barrier-free versions and some non-barrier-free versions. Currently the layouts are the same, but we might.
And what was the square footage of this one?
This one is 65 meters squared, so approximately 650.
675 square feet.
Thank you.
And yeah, nice big closet as you come in.
Yes.
Right there.
Yeah, same layout. Here's our 2-bedroom.
So yeah, this is 2-bedroom. It's kind of in the southeast part of the building, so it benefits from kind of 2 exterior walls and lots of light. This one has a storage room where we would put the stacked washer dryer.
Do any of those windows open?
Yes.
Yes.
Albeit the building code limits it to 4 inches of actual opening
But
space.
they could be sliders, right?
They could be sliders, they could be swinging, but can't have more than 4 inches of open space.
You don't want anyone to fall out.
Yeah.
It's kind of a,
Wow.
yeah.
We are putting air conditioning in the building though.
Oh, perfect.
So you're not reliant on your windows
Oh,
for cool air.
That's nice.
I was like, I don't think you're super worried.
That'd
If
be
you can
built by-
climb out that window later. Air conditioning in the building.
In the suites as well, or just the hallways and common areas?
We are still value engineering the mechanical, but it will be. We are working towards making it nicely acclimatized for folks.
Excellent.
Sorry, and
What's the square footage on this one?
this is 72, so about 720.
And how many of those units are we gonna have?
We have 5.
Yes.
Sorry, and there's a Jackson online that's got a question.
Hi, sorry, Jackson, Edmonton Two-Spirit Society. I was just wondering for all of the, like, how many of the suites in total have like the washer and the dryer?
All suites have their own laundry.
Like, but the separate appliances.
The not stacked.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
Just the ones that are adaptable.
So 7.
Oh, okay. And
Seven.
then for the stacking washer and dryer, is that going to be the newer style of stacking washer and dryer? Because they're actually quite tall.
I don't think.
So
we
what's
like that.
what's the height on that one? Because like I'm 5'8" and like it's still a reach for me. So like my concern would be that like someone who's shorter and obviously has a little bit more mobility issue or even shoulder issues wouldn't be able to reach the dryer, whether or not they're wheelchair bound or not, because they're quite tall.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. We have not gotten to the level of choosing the appliances yet. But
Yeah, just something to keep in mind. Because I mean, like,
For sure.
not to call out Michael, but Michael's not the tallest person in the room. And so I just would be wondering like how like and especially too because like common injuries are like shoulder injuries or hip injuries. So just the clearance of being able to pull stuff out of the dryer would render a stacking washer dryer useless if you can't reach it.
Yeah.
That's great feedback. We'll make note of that mentally for when we start to select the appliances. Thank you.
I guess on that note, I think all the suites have dishwashers.
Yeah.
So that's common. All suites have a dishwasher.
Wine coolers.
Are you offering to supply the wine? Yeah.
Use the basement space too.
Yeah.
Basement,
Yeah. I feel like the province is not gonna pay for that, but yeah.
What a
Good try.
community cooler, just outside the elevators.
Yeah.
Point operator.
Sounding like one of those little juice box style wines.
Marisa, would you be able to touch on it all? Like, I think one of the things is we've tried to provide a range of unit sizes and unit types here, and they do go from like very compact, obviously, to, you know,
Yeah.
to larger and more market type sizes. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd be a good person to just expand on the relationship between affordability and square footage a little bit and why we tried to come up with a mix from your standpoint.
Well, I mean, there's 1.5 million reasons that we try to come up with a mix, but at the end of the day, when we're applying for grant funding, there are caps on the number on the dollar per square foot and the dollar per unit and the dollar per build. So we do need to be cognizant of that when the province is funding affordable housing. You know, they're maybe not funding executive suites, right? That's not always what they're looking for. But when we're in a mixed market building where we want to attract people who want affordable housing as well as regular housing, we want to try to be as thoughtful as we can about not making them too different, but then also having some variety. Other things we start to see with seniors, lots of seniors come to us with nothing. And so when you're or they're not used to having excessive amounts of space, or they've been residing with family, or they've come from hospital, and so you're trying to furnish something. So providing somebody with too much space in some of those scenarios can actually also be overwhelming. We don't just see it in seniors, we see it with a lot of the folks that we house. So variety is really good from a square footage perspective. For some people, it's also hard to get around, like having to walk to take laundry all the way between a laundry and bedroom. So we've tried to be thoughtful about things like natural lighting, natural gathering spaces within the building, laundry in the suites, even things like the placement of the lobby. The city wanted to put it fully at the one end of the building. And I said, absolutely not. We need to come to an accommodation because we don't need seniors having to walk that entire way from the tip of the L all the way to the far end of the building to get to their units. It makes sense to put your lobby central in the building because it encourages gatherings, seeing your neighbors so that you have regular check-ins, shorter walking distances. As well, when we designed things like the kitchens, you can see specifically in this one, lots of them are open where it's just kind of that one side where everything is. But we put where you have a galley style, we made it wider than you would see in a lot of apartment buildings to encourage that mobility, be able to get a walker in there if you need it, 2 people if you need it, and assistance in some way. So there were lots of little bits and pieces that you might not see that in this presentation that we've tried to be really considerate about in thinking about how people are going to move around the building, how you're going to meet your neighbors. So yes, some of the units might seem a little smaller. I promise when you actually walk into one of them, they won't look that small. We have units that are much smaller than this and they still look fine once they're nicely decorated and taken care of. But we really tried to think about that isolation and providing those opportunities within the building to just gather and meet and see people, even if it's for 10 minutes, right? You run into somebody getting off the elevator, you sit down, you have a little chit chat. But that maybe they're an opportunity that, don't tell anybody because I don't think you're actually allowed to do this, but if you want to sit and have a glass of wine, you don't have to go into somebody's unit. Yeah. You gather kind of down at the sitting area and we'll call it a cup of coffee. A cup of coffee. Yeah, as long as nobody's getting rowdy. Rowdy. Yeah. We're gonna have juice. That's exactly it. So tried to put a lot of thoughtfulness in those components, but wanted to make sure that there were dishwashers, air conditioning. I mean, heat's kind of a given, but variety, laundry and suite, those types of things that are really going to make it hard, right? If you've had surgery, having to go to a laundry room to wash your laundry is not probably acceptable. If you've got a walker carrying a laundry basket is probably not acceptable. So we spent a lot of time focusing more on those items, and what that looked like for
Everything's a rental, correct?
Yes.
Are pets allowed?
So keep going.
No. Currently across our housing portfolio, we only allow pets that are doctor recommended support or companion animals. Doctor recommended companion support.
That's the name of the doctor?
Yeah, exactly. Most.
We have a Joan Whitecalf raised her hand.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm just wondering about the doors. They're all swinging doors I'm seeing, and I'm wondering, is it possible to change that to all pocket doors or sliding doors? It would give us a little bit more space.
I guess we have shown some pocket doors in places, but I guess we can chat about that internally and see what we can do. But yeah, I guess the norm would be, I know sometimes they can be a bit of a maintenance challenge the pocket doors, but yeah.
Okay,
We have strategically placed a few of them where we thought that it would be helpful for space.
in
Yeah.
all the suites, in every suite, or
Depends
just
on the
some?
design, like the one that's up now, you can see there's a pocket door on the laundry room.
I think in the barrier-free suite.
And the barrier free has them. Bathrooms, we find that people really, really don't want a pocket or a sliding door. For privacy, because you hear absolutely everything. And bedrooms, folks tend to prefer those as well, but we have placed a few.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
So yeah, just some minor differences here because of the bump outs. I think this one
Hey,
has
Google time.
iterations, yeah.
Yep.
It's 4:54 p.m.
Okay, what time do we have until?
You're done.
It's in 25 minutes, but yeah.
Hang on.
We can shave some time off of me.
Sage is very, very kind, very generous. They support us greatly, but there is a volunteer sitting upstairs waiting for you to leave.
Okay.
And so if you could leave by 10 after 6,
Yeah,
that would be wonderful.
Okay.
so we have a fair bit of agenda to get through.
Sure,
so
okay.
We can,
Can I just say one more thing? I apologize. I was supposed to say this. I forgot that I had a dinner appointment tonight. So I have to leave in about 10 minutes. Can you, did somebody hand the PowerPoint thing?
Sure, yeah.
Volunteer exterior.
Yeah, I'm not irreplaceable.
We're almost done, I think. Yeah, this is another one of the 2-bedroom. This is sort of at that top end of the most northwest part of the building. So different layout to the other 2-bedroom.
Can you go to the rooftop?
It's just a roof. There's no top.
Waste, just a waste of this
I know.
beautiful piece
I
of
know.
land that has views in every direction.
I know. I know.
Awful.
We are thinking very much about the cost of construction. And yeah, I hear you.
is it possible to create it now so that later on you could turn it into something, like create the structure? Because you've got to have your mechanical up there, right? So it has to.
Our mechanical is in the basement.
Oh.
I think it is something we've done before where you can, like usually the problem is not a structural problem. It's usually just that there's a cost associated with coming in and having, like usually you'll need to put like a patio paver kind of system on pedestals or something that don't damage the roof membrane. But given that it's a flat roof, like I think that is something that could be done in the future. It's quite costly at this sort of grant stage. So if we were to go into the government and sort of say, hey, give us money and it's, thousands of dollars per square foot because we're doing a beautiful roof deck, like it would be hard to get sort of the funding lined up now to do that. But I think it's certainly something that in future could be added if sort of funds are available, but let's hope.
And as Evo found when they moved into their new gay bar on Just Bradley and 115th Street, which had one exit up, you have to have 2 exits.
Yeah.
One from the roof off, and it was $55,000 to put in a second exit.
Yeah.
Will the ownership of the building of the property be not-for-profit?
The ownership of the building will be shared between Right at Home Housing and Edmonton Pride Seniors Group, and we're both nonprofit.
Okay, so that opens up the possibility of casino funding for future renovations.
Yeah, we already do casinos for Right at Home
But
Housing,
yes, he doesn't.
you guys have adder to the ends of the earth. I do more casinos than you could possibly imagine. Yeah, I'll be at Sage's Casino, just in case anybody plans on joining me. Yeah, for sure. So one of the things was, and I can safely say originally, we had a passion and a hope to have a rooftop patio. Unfortunately, when we had to shrink and change the building to meet all of the permitting and bylawing and zoning and all of those wonderful things, we needed to put housing there. So, but
to sort of wrap that piece up, it isn't impossible to think of it as a future.
Well, I
Fine.
think the one limiting factor is getting to the roof, and that is like elevators and stairs, so. That would mean extending those up. I don't, it would be
Elevators
very
would be
hard to do
stupid.
that in the
Stairs would be better.
stairs you could do somewhat easily, elevators
Not-
not so easily.
In 40 below, that's just not doable.
You kind of build part of that roof as like an interior, it's sort of how it would work if you put the elevator up there, yeah.
Maybe, I think we've done all the suites, right?
Yep, that's all of them.
Okay, so a little caveat before we look at the elevations, these are a work in progress. They're, we've been rushing to get something put together for our development permit application, so. Our intent is to submit this for the development permit, but then to come back to it and look at it a little bit more in terms of. I think the materials are, close to what we want to use, but maybe just some of the colors and some of the detailing and some of the exterior expression around color, right? And how we might want to do that. So that will come, but right now we're just trying to get it in for the development permit. So yeah, I don't know, Tegan, if you want to just show where some of the materials we're thinking of, and
Sure.
And you can kind of see some of the elements where we bumped out the building to provide, a bit of a visual break on it being just a box, right? And we do have to go through a bit of a extra hoop when it comes to getting a development permit. We have to go to a group called the Edmonton Design Committee because it falls within their purview in this part of the city. So they will have expectations above and beyond your typical development in terms of the urban design.
Do you have a question?
Yes, I see you have windows there where the inside bike storage is.
Yes.
Not a good idea
That's a unit.
Yeah, the bike storage is actually in the basement.
in the basement,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Good question.
So yeah, we have some a kind of a mix of metal cladding with a kind of wood look, which is what you see in these sort of lighter regions, as well as some fiber cement panels and then some other kind of metal cladding products. And then at the main level, proposed brick, just it's a bit more durable for those kind of higher traffic areas on the exterior.
I ask
Hello?
about the layout.
Yes,
Jesus Christ.
okay, okay.
Liz.
Ask Liz to mute herself.
I once lived in an L-shaped building.
Not really, Hillary. I'm actually in a Zoom meeting. I thought we were going to talk tomorrow or the
Liz,
next.
stop!
You expect it.
We can hear you.
I think you.
Okay.
The current way out.
Oh,
She went.
She got it.
So I just wondering about the flow of people around the building and what the consideration is for that sort of part of the L where you might have people wanting to maybe find a private space away from the busy street and police and all those things for sort of
I'm assuming you mean people who don't live there.
people who don't live there, yeah,
Check.
or where they kind of look for a place where they're not gonna be visible to camp out or whatever, and is that why the entrance is in that crux of the L or what's the sort of thought of?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, definitely thinking about, keeping or limiting or eliminating spaces where people might come where we don't want them to. And so when we're thinking about the landscaping, that's definitely a consideration. I mean, yeah, I guess this has 3 public faces, so I think that will help. Typically eyes on the street, the views of people inside the building seeing what's going on outside and also be part of that solution. But,
That's 102.
That's 101A Avenue there, so I can help a little if you want. So when we talked a lot about this building, we actually took that into consideration, so that big gray square area is your parking. So depending on people moving around, you're gonna see a lot of coming and going through what appears to be a vacant courtyard, but it's actually the parking. But then all of your units also overlook that courtyard, as well as where that kind of lighter brown area is in that one corner is actually going to be your lobbies on every single floor. So it's really kind of designed to have lots of visibility overlooking that. But then when you look at the exterior of the building as well, it's all windows from people's looking down. So even when you look at the exterior gathering space that we have there will be apartments above that look down over it. And not that we expect people to go down there, but that gives the opportunity, if you're seeing something that should be occurring, that you're contacting the police. Or we're also hoping that they will have like one of those suites designated for a site manager. So whether that's someone that we hire in that purpose, or we find someone in the building who takes on some of those obligations as well, to be kind of just that caring visibility for the building. We find that that's always just incredibly helpful, that one person that sort of has ownership of those things, right? Like garbage blew into the parking lot, I'm gonna pick it up, or somebody dropped something in the hallway, I'm gonna give it a quick spot clean, that type of thing. But yeah, it's really designed that all of the units, as well as the common spaces, overlook those areas in the hopes that, like, I'm hoping by the 5th floor, you're not gonna have your blinds closed all the time, right? You're gonna have them open, you're gonna want to enjoy some sunshine, that sort of thing. So, and even at the ground level, that's not the basement or the lower level where the bike parking is. That's actually apartments on that level. So you've got people there who are going to hear noise or see movement or that kind of thing. And then we'll do some hopefully really nice lighting in that area too. Right.
Does that answer things? Okay.
Oh, got another hand online.
Joan, you've got a question?
Yeah, I'm just wondering about the cladding. I just watched this documentary that this building like burnt down in England years ago, and the problem was with the cladding, and they were saying that it was what was in between the cladding. It was like some super melty thing that went crazy when the fire happened. So I'm just curious about that. It's in my head, cladding. So I'm just wondering if there's any fire safety.
Yeah, no, you won't have to worry about that.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good because it was horrible. Thank you.
One's horrible.
Yeah. Good.
Sorry,
Yeah, we're gonna move
cognizant
those
of
up there.
time,
Yeah,
but,
it's nice from that side.
but yeah, I mean, these are good views here, just to kind of show how the site slopes, and we haven't shown enough detail of that common amenity space, but it will be fenced in so it's secure and that people from the outside can't take furniture away or find a way into the building. So yeah, more detail on that is to come.
Okay, they're just these are the elevations, but
Yeah, I think is that,
that's all.
okay.
Can you tell me what elevation on our building would be where the arts co-op is? That would be to the east of our building?
How many stories?
They're townhouse style, are they not?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're townhouse style, but their backyards are really sloped.
I'm just wondering where you'd have a clear view, what floor you would need to be on in our building.
I mean, it would probably be around the 3rd floor and up that you would see over top.
Yeah, and in every direction.
Well, I guess I can't remember what's to the north. There's some taller.
To the north is the Hecla.
Yeah.
But the Hecla's kind of on that one corner, and you should get, I believe when we did some renderings, there should be a bit of a north view. It should be, don't quote me on that. I spent a lot of time looking at things. And then west is a building of condos. Yeah. And then south of you is fairly short, south-ish is that pinky orange, they're quite short.
You're talking about the Arts Collab apartment building, it's at the end of the block.
Yeah, I think there's a space, there's space in between, is there
Almost
not?
a half block down or.
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
I know people who live there.
So in the interest of time, is it possible that if we have further questions, that we collect them and forward them on to you?
I think it would be great, yeah, if you could get them all together
Right.
before
Okay,
setting them.
we'll provide that. So we've got
One
contact on our
package.
website. So if you can go to the Edmonton Pride Seniors Group website, if you have questions, we could gather them and then forward them on to you.
Yeah. Good.
Okay. Thank you for that. All right.
So did you need us to stay for any of the other parts of the meeting?
I don't believe.
Somebody has to run that.
Okay.
yeah, like, you don't wanna
You
say
didn't
it's
like
like.
doing the
PowerPoint.
No, so
You
you
have to stay. Did you drive together?
I can stick around and help if they need a hand.
Okay.
I think we can figure it out because you don't have a PowerPoint or anything.
I do not have a
Okay,
PowerPoint.
so I can.
Patrick does though, for the camp.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so.
Or your
I'll
I
figure
can
that
help,
out.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're all on the desktop already.
Is yours been put on? So.
As far as I know.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
All right,
Get it out of
so
the way.
reintroducing Marisa Redmond, and she's from the Right at Home Housing. She's the CEO and, yeah,
Sorry,
here you are.
before we start.
Oh, a microphone.
A little microphone on just right here.
And so you're just gonna give us an update on the funding and next steps.
Yeah, and thanks, sorry, I'll take my keys out of my pocket or they're gonna jiggle and nobody's gonna hear me. These guys got to do the fun part, but we've been working really hard, so no PowerPoint, no updates on my part. I'm late, part of the reason for that is that the RFP for this building just closed yesterday, so I'm sitting in a stack full of documents, trying to frantically read, highlight, make notes and score them. We've had 6 applications for that process, and so far I've made it through 2.5, and I think we'll be very happy with whoever we choose to walk this journey with us. We met with Tim and Michael yesterday, it's all blurred, this week sometime, to just kind of go through what we were looking for and make sure that everybody's on the same page about the importance of the nature of the project, the people that are gonna live there, and how whoever we choose to build this building is going to have a full and comprehensive understanding of that. This isn't just a building, that we're doing different things. So that's a big piece of the tender package. Those came in Friday. We need to have them all read, scored, comments made, and back to accumulate our scores. Next week, we've got a half day. We're gonna go through, shortlist them. Then there will be an interview process. So for those that we shortlisted to say we think you do the best job of the building, then we're gonna go through and talk to them and ask questions about their suitability and their fit in the work that we're doing, because we know that's incredibly important. And then hopefully we'll have somebody selected. So some of the questions that folks asked today about like the type of washer and dryer, some of those more specific components, we'll have a better idea of that once we bring our construction manager on board, because that's when we start doing those little pieces where we say, what's the price of this? What's the price of this? We start talking about what is the countertop going to be made out of? What fits into our budget? What kind of frame are we putting in this building? How are we doing the panels? Are they so there's a whole ton to come from there. And we'll start to tweak and fine tune this as we go along. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll know hopefully who that partner is going to be, and they can start working with us to navigate those pieces forward. I don't know how many of you are familiar with city funding, but for those of you who are, so we've already received funding from the province. That's the AHPP funding, and that was really exciting for us. The next phase is to apply for and receive funding from the city to support this project as well. They have 2 rounds. There's one that closes in 2 days, and one that will be happening sometime around the end of the year / beginning of the new year. We met with the city today, and they're recommending, don't look at me, that we apply for the period at the end of the year. Thank you for all of your hard work. No need to panic around that. It's really just about making sure that we've got the best application. And that we've got our development permit either well underway or received at the time of application to move it forward. City is very supportive of this project, so and have worked really well with us. And then that would leave the last component, which is lending and any funding that we're requesting of Build Canada Homes, which is federal. They have started approving some projects, which has been incredibly positive because we were getting a little nervous that they were never going to approve anything in Edmonton, but they have started. So that lines nicely with our other 2 rounds of funding that we've got in there. Progressing nicely, no unanticipated surprises in our applications for grant funding. At this point, you never know. It's never done until it's done. This team here worked really hard to get us forward to DP this week, so thank you. Almost. We're almost there. We're so close. What else have we been working on, Michael? About 1 million things.
Although we're gonna mention this, we can do this now. Also the community consultation.
Yes.
We're working on that, and that will be starting in the latter part of this year, September, October, maybe, September, October and on. I don't think that, because that's required by the city as well, and the plans are there. The implementation of it and carrying it out is the part that will be coming, and probably some kind of open house we're thinking about.
Yeah, we're looking for the formal in-person component to hit sometime around October. We're approaching this community consultation a little bit differently. Normally, when we do a community consultation, we sort of draw a circle around the site and we notify the people within that circle. For this one, we're considering the community in a variety of different levels. So the community is when you draw a circle, the community is the community. So not necessarily folks in the community who are just living within that small radius. We are considering Chinatown in this, the quarters in this. So there's a few different layers to the component of this consultation that we wouldn't necessarily consider in other community consultations. So we've got a fairly long list of folks that can come out and see what we're doing and contribute and share their information. And we're looking at approximately October, but we write our proposal, submit it to the city, we do a little tweaking and fine tuning, make sure we haven't missed anyone, make sure that our timelines align with everything, but we're aiming for around October right now. The last one we did it early in September, and it was not good timing. There were just too many people with kids headed back to school, or we have lots of folks who don't have school that like to vacation once all the kids go back to school. So it wasn't good timing, and we're gonna aim for October. Hopefully that'll be a little bit better. I know that's Thanksgiving, but if we skip every month that has something, we'll never do it.
Yeah. When are we hoping that the building can be occupied?
That is a great question. It's an ever-moving target. So our hope would be to break ground in either the spring of 2027 or the spring of 2028. The spring of 2028 seems much more feasible and likely because we've still got to run the capital campaign. We've still got to finish our rounds of grant funding. So it'll most likely break ground in the spring of 2028. We're just bringing construction managers on so that we won't be able to totally fine tune build timelines until we have a CM, but I think we're looking at anywhere from 20 to 24 months. Does that seem reasonable? You guys do
18 to.
Yeah,
It's probably,
Yeah.
it's probably 18.
I would tack on a couple months.
Yes.
I'd rather say 24 and build it in 18 than say 18 and build it in 24.
So sort of 2030 is when you're thinking it would be available to the.
Maybe 29.
That was very awful.
Halfway through 2029.
Yeah. Average. Questions?
Will your organization be assisting with running this building?
Kind of. So, and actually I just sent Michael kind of a document to lay out the relationship so that we can all make sure that we don't all of a sudden open the building and we're like, we thought we were doing that. We thought you were doing that. Our focus is really going to be on the things that we do best. Signing leases, repairing things that are broken, doing the landscaping, like, cutting the grass and that kind of thing, reserve funds, capital maintenance, all of those really kind of structurally based things, collecting arrears, that type of thing, real property management stuff. Our understanding of Edmonton Pride Seniors Group is that you guys are gonna build the community inside the building. We're gonna make sure it's a safe place. We're gonna help build it. We're gonna take care of all the annoying things that the garbage gets picked up and that, and then you guys, within reason, I mean, don't destroy the building while you're at it. But that you guys are gonna build that community within.
Yeah, there's a lot of work for us to do on that line yet as well.
Yeah, having activities, potlucks, wine in the foyer. That sort of thing, yeah. I think one of the things that we didn't mention yet is that we are having conversations with the city about having a DATS pickup zone on 101A Avenue, right by where that front entrance comes. So that is a conversation that we have been having and think it would be very suitable and appropriate to the building itself.
Yeah.
The entrance to the parking is on 101A Avenue as well. Questions? See, I was much faster because I spoke all through Jonathan's presentation. He tolerates me.
Do
Thank
you
you.
have any inkling at all of the rental cost, even a range, or is it?
Yes, it would have been
$500?
great if I brought that. And I did not. Yeah, so we have some of the units, these are approximates, are gonna be around 60% of what would be market. So for folks who have a much lower income, some of them I think sit at around 80% of market, and then we'll have some of your typical market units. So between now and 2020 and 2030, those could vary significantly, but it's based on a percentage of the market.
Right.
So it'll be comparable and competitive to anywhere else that you might live.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Marisa. I appreciate that. Next up.
Patrick on screen if he wants me to run the PowerPoint or the rest.
Or do you want to be available to answer questions?
Sure.
And I'll.
So we have, thank you so much,
Thank you
guys.
guys so
That was
much.
so
Yeah.
wonderful. Now I have a visual in my
Thank you
head,
guys.
not just a conversation. Great. So next up, what we're getting in the PowerPoint.
Do you know which one's yours, Corey? Sorry. Case for support? Is that what you want?
Case for support is second. There should be a PowerPoint as well.
Yeah, I think, sorry, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, this mouse is not moving at any speed that.
All right, so the next up are the folks from Global Philanthropic, and I think Patrick is online, and who else have you got here from?
So Tina's also online.
Tina's
and
online?
I'm Corey Fortner.
Hi, Corey. Well, welcome, and let's make money.
Sounds great. Well, it's nice to be connecting with all of you. I am based here in Vancouver, but I have the opportunity to get to Edmonton as much as possible with my sister living there. And we also have Corey Fortner, who's in the room, who's my colleague. She's one of the lead fundraisers on this project. And she's based in Edmonton. We also have Tina, who's our campaign assistant, who's based here in BC. How's the presentation coming?
Where's the slideshow button on here? Oh, up top. I just saw it now that you're here. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that would be helpful.
And I'll be quick as I know, we're kind of anxious to get out of here. So I set a timer for myself because I know how Michael likes to keep a tight meeting here. So I'm just going to start that.
I don't know where the meeting is. Sorry, I'm trying to find the meeting so I can screen share here.
That's okay.
I'll quit hovering.
No, if you can do it faster than me, you're welcome.
Maybe while I'm waiting, so we have in the room as well, I think, is Jackie Ford still there?
Chair at the bottom.
Yes.
Great. So as part of this process, we're starting here, so maybe I won't jump right in there. But
Go for it.
Okay, and can we do the slideshow just from the beginning? Just far left. Yeah.
You know, progressives are not helpful with tilting your head back. They're not. It's not at all. I'm like, it's all blurry. Okay, does it look good on your end, Pat?
Yes, it looks great. Thank you so much.
Thank
Maybe I'll
you.
just say like slide forward and
Yep.
then click. Okay, perfect. So yeah, we're really excited to be working with Edmonton Pride Seniors Group Society as well as Right at Home Housing on this amazing project. As a queer man myself, it's really exciting just to see this space that's going to be actually the second in Western Canada. That's going to be going right into Edmonton, which is where I was born. So really a lot of pride in this initiative, and it's just so cool that this is really going to be this key project for the city of Edmonton. Can you go to the next slide?
That I can do.
Yeah, so as part of Global Philanthropic Canada, so we're a fundraising consultancy where we exist in every province across Canada. We work on capital campaigns. We do major gift fundraising events as well as annual giving. But for this particular one, we were hired by you guys, Edmonton Pride Seniors Group Society, as well as Right at Home Housing, to fundraise the 5 million that's required for this capital campaign. As we mentioned, it's about a 27 million project with most of the other funding coming from different levels of government, but the 5 million representing that fundraising component. So for us to start off, and we had the opportunity to connect with you all back in November. We were just fresh starting this project. So now what we've done is we reached out to a number of prospects of folks who are individuals, donors, foundations that are interested in supporting this initiative. And we conducted 30 confidential, what we called key supporter listening interviews, which was just asking a number of questions about the project, as well as starting to gauge individuals, foundations, corporate interest in supporting it financially. So we developed a list of about 80 prospects, and from there we were able to secure 30 interviews. Really, this was about reviewing the campaign, the readiness for this type of campaign, understanding a little bit more of what needs to be a part of our case for support, which I'll be touching on in a second, as well as what systems and staffing needs to be put in place. So this was not an ask, it was more of an appetite, readiness, and confidence test. Next slide, please. So we completed 30 interviews. We had 5 different participant lenses from connectors, community leaders, corporate, individuals, foundations, and other. Next slide. And just a reminder, as you know, we just had this great presentation talking about the unit, but it's going to be 64 planned units. It's focused on aging in place, universal design, shared community spaces, and also two-spirit inclusion, which requires authentic consultation. Next slide, please. So some of the key findings is 97% of folks are in favor of the campaign, which is incredible, and 73% rated the urgency a 4 or 5 out of 5, which is great in terms of being able to get people to support this project right away, as they can see, everything's moving forward, and we want to get this funded and open as soon as possible. Also, 87% of folks said that the basic goal was clear, so that they understood what the 5 million was for and how it's going to relate to the rest of the 27 million. Next slide. The biggest campaign anchor was around aging in place. So we tested whether what resonated most with folks from universal design, aging in place, the mixed income model and two-spirit programming. And really, it was about 67% felt like aging in place was the most important. And you can see just from the presentation you just had and all of the thoughtfulness that Right at Home Housing and Edmonton Pride Seniors Group Society has put into this, that's really a huge focus. And really centering that is that no senior should have to choose between safety, affordability, and living openly. Next slide. Why this matters to donors is that dignity and independence is immediately understandable, that safety and belonging gives that case that emotional urgency, the universal design, mixed income, and shared spaces make this project very practical, and also ensuring that two-spirit inclusion is visible, respectful, and consultation-led. Next slide. So really, when we look at the 5 million, these are just some of our findings in terms of where we think this 5 million will come from. So we see about 2.75 million coming from major gifts, which is gifts from individuals at 25,000 and above. Foundations, so these can be family foundations, these can be some corporate foundations as well at about 850,000. Corporate, we see at about 600,000. Mid-level donors, so those are folks just below the 25,000 level, we see at about 400,000. And then the rest is going to come from community, so smaller donations at about 250,000 and some events at 100,000. Next slide. So we've recruited our two campaign co-chairs. So as part of the process, with the key supporter listening interviews, is we asked people if they wanted to volunteer for this project. And there were two individuals in particular talking with Michael and others and looking at their connection to the city, their connection to the cause, their openness and willingness to volunteer their time that we felt really aligned with the values and vision that we see for this campaign. So I'm really excited to share that Jackie Ford, who's a board member and she's in the room right now, is going to be one of our co-chairs along with Murray Billett, who was on the call. I think he had to drop off, but I just want to take a moment. Jackie, did you want to say just a couple words?
No, I'm very excited and honored to be asked to work on this project. And Murray and I have met a couple of times and we're excited to get to work. So,
yes, thank you.
That's great. And it's with Jackie being a board member, she's also going to serve as a board liaison as part of this campaign cabinet. So doing a little bit of double duty, but I think it's going to work really well. And then now our next step is we're going to be meeting and looking to put together the campaign cabinet. So there are other folks that we interviewed that have expressed interest in volunteering, and we're going to chat and look at who would be the best fit in terms of being able to open doors, hosting and cultivating relationships, helping to support with fundraising asks, and also thanking and stewarding our donors, and also contributing to the campaign themselves. Next slide. So Murray Billett is our other campaign co-chair, and just an incredible individual, human rights advocate, longtime champion of the 2S LGBTQ communities. He's a commanding officer and diversity advisor for Alberta Criminal Review Board. So just an incredible campaign co-chair, and I think he's going to do an excellent job. And then next slide is Jackie. So Jackie has a long history of community building, a lifetime commitment, and that is my time. I'm just going to go on a little bit further, but she's just an incredible individual. She's had leadership roles with the YWCA of Edmonton, Covenant Health, So really, really excited to have her on board. Next slide. So one of the pieces is from this key supporter listening process was to help us to build the case for support. So this is about a 16-page document that outlines all of the reasons why an individual, an organization would want to support this case. Next slide. And then really the next just looking forward into what we're going to be working on over the next couple of years. So we've completed the readiness phase. So we've done our key supporter listening process. We've done our prospecting. We've built the case. We've built some readiness tools. Now we're really entering into the quiet phase, which is about building our campaign cabinet, starting to cultivate key relationships with some of the donors that participated as part of the study, but also those outside of the study, looking at doing some events. So having some cultivation events, which is bringing together the community for them to learn a little bit more about what this project is, invite them to consider supporting this initiative and bringing in some of the lead gifts. So really, we want to focus on bringing in gifts of about $1 million plus that are going to be those anchor gifts that are going to really encourage others to want to support this initiative. The goal of the quiet phase of the campaign is to raise about 75% of the 5 million before we enter into the public phase of the project, which is set to start in November 2027. And this is when we're actually going to be talking about this initiative openly with the public. There'll be more of a communication with media, and there'll be more community campaign focused events. There'll also be more general fundraising coming from the general public and helping us to just get over the line to reach that $5 million goal by the end of October 2028. Next slide. Yeah, so really, this is all about aging with pride, and aging with pride is the theme of our case for support. So it's aging with pride, being safe, seen, and celebrated. So safe we see as this building really is focused on safety by ensuring that there is, proper lighting for folks as they're entering and exiting the building. We talked about the possibility of also having a dedicated transit stop outside the building, which will help with safety. It's also about folks being seen for the first time, maybe in their whole entire life, of who they actually are, being affirmed in their home, being affirmed in who they are, in their gender expression, in their sexuality. It's also about being celebrated. This is an opportunity. Your generation has done so much for the queer community, and I just want to thank you so much for everything that you guys have done to contribute to all of the rights and privileges that I and my peers and others get to experience on a daily basis. And it's your chance to celebrate and to live out your golden years around people that you feel safe with, that you feel encouraged by. So really, that was the crux of our campaign, and it's really going to help us to raise that 5 million to help create a place where you all can live safe, openly, and with pride. Thank you very much. I'll take some questions. I also have our case for support, but just because of time, I may just send that out to the group and it can be shared. But this is our case for support is complete. It's a 16-page document that can be utilized to talk about this initiative and try to encourage folks who you may know that may want to support this project financially, or by joining the cabinet, or by providing their time or talents.
So can I just say, Pat, the entire time you were talking, there was a ladybug flying around the room in case anyone saw me looking at the ceiling. And I do believe that that is really lucky. Luck. So I just want to point that out. We have a ladybug in here and she's all over this campaign.
Yes. All right, does anybody have questions for Pat before we?
No, thank you very much. Well,
Okay, thank you so much, Pat. Really appreciate that. That's really helpful.
And Corey, my colleague Corey is still in the room there, so if you want to ask her anything, she's also available.
Yeah, here we go. Perfect, thank you so much. And I think the last piece, because we did talk about the community consultation a little bit, we
Yes.
touched on that. Do you want to talk about the Pride Parade, Michael?
yes, I did the last thing already. So we talked about, the board did, about the fact that we also need to get ourselves out as an organization a bit as well. And we thought that the best way to do that at the moment would be during the Pride Parade, which is on August 22nd. We are, one of the other persons, part of our group, Warren Hurt, is going to take charge of getting that organized. We're getting some materials to dress up and blah, blah, blah kind of thing for it. In addition, at the end of the parade, they have a big stage show, and we have about 6 or 8 minutes where we can talk about who we are a little bit, and we will do that as well. And the one piece that we have is that we need people to actually be volunteers at the parade, who come and go. So and I'll give you a couple of pens, you can start handing it around. So anyone that wants to volunteer just to be there on that date, we have you please sign up. Otherwise, I think that's it. The parade is our big thing on the 22nd of August, Saturday. And so we're hoping for many of you to be part of it. We'll have different umbrellas and things that we're gonna do.
Should I send an email blast out about that? Like send an email to everybody about that so that people know when.
Yeah, I'll mail some stuff about that too. Yeah. So if you're interested, I'm passing around the thing where you just gotta put your name and your phone number and email address. And we'll follow up. And that will be Warren Hurt will do most of that work. And he's agreed to do it. Yeah.
I think that's a wrap.
That's it.
Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I think that was a really awesome session, lots of information. So again, if you have any questions, we can send it to admin at our email.
Online.
Sorry?
Thank you.
Yes, and also thank you for those who are not in person but are online. Really appreciate it. Nice to see your faces. Take care.
And we should thank Sage for the space.
Thanks, Sage, for the space. Absolutely.
Okay.